Dear Miss Depression.
They tried to kill your favorite bitch. They tried to fucking kill me. I'm not going down without a motherfucking fight.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. What's going on, y'all? I am so ready to just let this out of my spirit because over the last year, your boy was really going through it. Really. And I think recently, after some recent tweets and stuff were posted, I think it re-triggered me and hurt me again to the point that I talked about that in the previous video. And I just feel like at this point, I just need to let it out. I just need to let it out. Now, this video is not going to be malicious. I wish them the best. But this is just me protecting my peace because for the last year, I have been suffering in silence of not telling my truth because if I tell my truth, that it will hurt someone. And I don't want to put my friend's business out or anything. So if they got to take it out on me and drag me and do all of that, that's fine. But it's gotten to the point that it's been a year and there are still tweets and mentions and stuff of me. And I've tried to sit down and talk to them a couple of times. I reached out to one of their close friends and have a conversation with them. And it just did not go over well. They just didn't want to talk or whatever. Understandable. So for those who do not know, I was on a podcast called For the Culture Podcast, which I loved. It was a monumental podcast. It's one of the best podcasts ever. Like, that's not me boasting, but a lot of people loved us. We were having queer teenagers reach out to us who were going through all types of things from their identity, from their sexual orientation, all of these things, and we were helping them. Like, we was a therapist for a lot of young queer folks. And I think that's the thing that hurt me the most, is that I wanted to make sure that I protected these young queer folks from, like, and shielding them from unnecessary stuff. Like, I wanted to protect my babies and stuff who were emailing us and getting confirmation and everything from us. They were getting their therapy and their everything from us. So unfortunately, a situation happened back in April. I had to talk to my friend about something, an incident that happened. I shared that in the previous video last year in August, where my friend Adrian came over and he brought a friend and they were both intoxicated. And I was concerned. I was concerned about his well-being because this is not the first or second time or third time that I've seen them drive intoxicated. And for them to be in a space with someone else and they don't care was a little bit alarming for me. So there were some things that happened that Adrian didn't even remember happened because his last message to this day to me was that he was drunk and he did not remember that happening, but it did happen, and he clearly was intoxicated. But that was just me messaging, sending an email to my friend like, hey girl, we need to talk about these things. I'm concerned about this, and you know, you showed up drunk and the person showed up drunk too, and they said some rude, foul stuff to me, and you don't remember it, but they also put their hands on you, slapped you on the ass, and then slapped me on the ass, and it made me really uncomfortable in my own home, and I didn't know how to deal with it because this person seemed very aggressive, even when they were talking, that I didn't want to get into it with them in my own place or whatever. I just didn't want to deal with that. So that did not go over well. Adrian did make the decision to leave the podcast, that he was not going to be able to do that. And I said, that's fine. Like, hey, like, let's at least work on our friendship. And he said that in order for our friendship to do anything, I'm going to have to leave the podcast. And I was very okay with that. In this process, that was when you had T on the podcast. You also had Angry Black Homo. Also had a non-binary rapper that was on there as well. And that was me trying to smooth over things and not give a statement of what was going on and just giving him some time to figure it out what it was. Unfortunately, Adrian posted a statement back in May, and this statement was so shady that it eventually led to this YouTuber, What's the T Says, making a video describing what she thought was going on with our relationship. And that was in August. So this situation happened back in April, and it didn't get talked about publicly until August. I never said anything publicly during the whole time. during the whole time. When Adrian soft blocked me, that's when you block and unblock someone and it makes you unfollow them. I didn't say anything. I didn't take any subliminal comments. I didn't say, people told me, don't say anything, Justin. Don't say nothing. And that's hard for even me, because y'all know how I get sometimes. But I was like, this is my friend. This is someone I love. This is someone who I respect. So even if the things have changed, I still respect the relationship that we did have, and I'm not going to say anything. So if they need to take their anger out on me, I'll take it. I don't mind taking it. I took that for months. May, June, there were several tweets about me or stuff that was implied that it was about me, to the point that someone did a video talking about it. And even in videos, there were shots at me. I think that the video that I caught was posted on August the 21st of them taking some shots of me, comparing me to Pray Tell from Pose. And I was like, no, he can't be talking about me. He can't. But then when you go through the comments, all the folks are tagging my name and saying, oh, he talking about King Reeves, I caught the shade. There's no negative comments on my video response about that. I don't need to take shots at my friend. I don't need to do any of that. The comments that people were saying just were positive, saying, hey girl, like, we appreciate you even talking about this. I've never allowed anyone to speak negatively over my friend on any of my platforms. I just was not even allowing that. And this video was released of What's the Tea when she posted her stuff, and this is what she had to say from picking up the tweet that she said was about me.
I also noticed that he was posting these tweets that seemed a little shady. He said, don't trick yourself. Some people are just idiots. They'll have you convinced that you should dumb yourself down and make them feel comfortable. LOL. They're too empty-headed to get their ambitionless asses up and learn something, so they project on you, but you deserve better. And so I was like, that seems a little shady. Sounds like someone that we know, but maybe not. Then he wrote, get the stupid out of your space and watch yourself flourish. Get that negative energy away from your spirit and your whole perspective on life will change. Some people want you to sit with them in turmoil and insecurity because they're mad that you're a star that will outshine them. So I kept saying to myself, now this was mid-July, and I kept thinking, okay, so he's no longer on the podcast and he's posting things like this, which led me to believe that these two are no longer friends.
So this video was posted on August the 12th, the day before my birthday. Last year, honestly, was the worst birthday ever for me, because even with me going live and talking about my birthday and what I'm doing with my friends, I was dealing with unnecessary drama that was brought to me, because every time I did a video, that video was showing up. Every video that I posted, that video was showing up in everybody's news feed. So people were asking about that person, asking about me. And there was just so many negative comments, which I was okay with. I was like, okay, girl, this will blow over. It didn't. And then Adrian continued to fire off shots and videos, and he posted something on the 21st, almost a week later after that video, and
says it's not her fault. Like, you don't have to be an asshole to Candy just because you are insecure with whatever you got going on. Wow, that reminds me of somebody.
So it was an ongoing thing of people like, okay, like, girl, this is a mess. So I finally responded August the 24th, and I talked about it on the end of my video and just basically explained the situation and everything that happened. I think I later on tweeted Adrian and asked him, like, sis, why are you still talking? I think the next year I ended up tweeting him and asking him directly what was the purpose of this. Like, when he was tweeting someone about me, somebody who was being fat phobic about me, I ended up responding to him directly and saying, girl, we haven't talked and that's okay, but why do you have to continuously take shots at me when the tweet's not even about you? Why are you so invested in that? Never did get a response, never got anything. The only thing that I did a Tasha K interview back in September or October, I can't remember. And we talked about a lot of things, and then we ended up talking about Adrian. And I just explained the situation, and I've always wished him the best. I even do that now. Listen to his music, support his YouTube channel, do whatever. I always will wish my friend. He's very talented. He's very intelligent. He's very articulate as well. And I've always wanted to see him excel. Now, a lot of people had a lot of negative things to say about me, and I'm like, why is there so much negative stuff said about me when there's not been any subliminal tweets? Even when the girl did the video, there was no subliminal tweets from me. There was nothing that anybody could reference of me talking about him or taking shots until I did it publicly and direct at him. I don't do subtweets and all of that. I don't need to do all of that. I can just say it directly. I've always been 100% human to everybody. Like, this is me. This is how I exist. This is how I move. If y'all seen my growth, y'all seen me on folks on YouTube. You've seen me in other stuff. But I'm 32 years old. I'll be 33 on August the 13th of this year if I make it to that day. And life has been good for the last couple of months. I'm buried in very good space. I also seen people say that maybe my HIV status is affecting how I'm thinking. Since you don't know if I was born with HIV, you don't know if I tested positive 10 years ago or if I tested positive the day I made that video. You just don't know. I've never talked about that because it's none of anyone's business but my sexual partners. But people were using all of these things and I had to deal with all of that. So why am I doing this video now? Recently, like I said earlier, there were some tweets that Adrian posted, and he was talking about a song that he was working on, and he said that it made him think about somebody that he, was trying to shade him with words that they taught him. And honestly, Adrian didn't really teach me anything. If anything, me and him taught each other. We grew together. We bonded together. We unlearned anti-blackness together. We unlearned all of these things. We unlearned our religion, Christianity. We talked about all of these things. We've been on the phone for 3-4 hours just talking on the phone. Loved him. Still love him to this day. So I do miss that. That does hurt. But I've had to grow out. Like, I have to deal with that. So it's almost like losing someone, losing a loved one, but they're still alive. So the last time I lost a loved one was my auntie, who was killed by domestic violence back in 2010 while I was overseas. And it took me almost a month to get back home to even attend my aunt's funeral. It took a minute because she had been missing for a long period of time. So this was something different. This was on the next level of me losing someone, but they're still alive and I'm still seeing them. And considering that we all in the same circles, I was seeing friends and stuff engage and people still working with that I work with. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, sis is talented. I never told anybody to stop working with him. I've never told Miss Kelly, who built my website, also built his after I asked, and she hinted towards she wanted to help him too because she helped me. Even when a job opportunity came up from Wear Your Voice, where they were looking for a social media manager, and my friend was looking for folks, I suggested Adrian. I said, hey, like, that's what he does. He's good at. Like, call him. I'm not interested in stopping nobody's bags or hurting anybody's chances of anything. I've not asked any of my friends to stop partying with him. I didn't stop anybody. That's petty. I don't do stuff like that. But I think at this point now, just to see the tweets and realizing that this will not probably ever stop until they deal with whatever they're going through internally. And then I also think about that you did a song last year or whenever, you did a song a couple of months ago, and a lot of people came to me and said, I think this song is about you, and I'm not sure. It probably is about me. Who cares? Listen to it, stream it, do whatever, download, play it, do whatever you got to do. So it's like, is every song that you do or everything you hype up, is it going to be about your issues with me? You say that you don't want to talk about what happened publicly, but you keep taking shots at me publicly. So I'm not understanding what that is. So I've had to deal with folks taking your narrative of what you were saying and what you were implying, because you knew that video was playing. You knew that video was being played and people were saying this stuff about me, and you added more fuel to the fire by shooting out subliminals. Since I've known you for 6-7 years, I know how you move online. You've not changed much. I just didn't ever think that the stuff that you were doing to everybody else, you were doing to me. But everybody assumed is the stuff I've done to folks would have been done to you, but I didn't do any of that. Never spoke on it until it was needed to. So it hurt. It hurt to get online to see this, and to the point that I've actually taken a break from Twitter currently. Like, I took a break from Twitter because it was just too much. It was just too much emotionally and mentally for me to constantly be online and seeing people retweet and engage with a tweet that was about me, and it's just like, why do we keep doing this? It's been a year and some months now. So I feel better. I'm in a way better space, and I do want to honestly respond to some of the comments that were made about me. People were making it seem as though Adrian was carrying me on his back, and they really ran with this narrative for a while. Someone even mentioned this. I think many of those subbies came from when those two were together sometimes. Now that they cut ties, I think you will see Adrian's channel grow. But you're right, he does deserve more subbies. In this time frame that me and Adrian quote unquote cut ties, Adrian was on May the 1st at 70,000 subscribers and I was at 115,000 subscribers. It is now July the 24th. Adrian is now at 77,000 subscribers and I am now at 154,000 subscribers. All of these things that y'all have said and all these things that y'all have mentioned of him carrying me on his back is simply untrue. I've said again, neither one of us was carrying each other. We were just working together and we had great chemistry and we were both helping each other out. But honestly, in the time that's passed, I've grown a lot. Honestly, I've been invited to YouTube Black. I spoke at a college about my HIV status. I've been invited to YouTube Black dinner. I'm currently working with YouTube, looking at products and stuff they're using to change YouTube and the analytics and everything else. Like, I'm testing YouTube's new products before they even come out. I'm in talks with folks who actually work at YouTube. But it's not been a constant struggle, and depression is a constant struggle. It's something that I don't think that you would ever, like someone would ever conquer completely. I think it's an ongoing process, and that's what I've been able to do. In the last year, I've been able to recognize that this was something that was bothering me. I think I was going through those stages of grief, and like this person was still alive. So the grief was differently for me. I didn't believe it. I didn't want to accept it for a minute, and then when I finally did accept it, it hurt, and then I thought about all these things, and then I felt like I was going through this all over again when I saw those tweets of him talking about me and taking shots, to the point now that even our close friends are looking at you sideways and like, girl, we still talking about this? So life is good. Life is great. I'm feeling great, and I'm in a way better space than I was a year ago, and I'm thankful for that. And I would not be there if it was not for the folks who are constantly watching my videos and subscribing and engaging with my content online or offline. I appreciate that. Y'all don't know how much y'all mean to me. And I do apologize to the people who were listening to in love for the Culture Podcast. I love for the Culture Podcast too. I wanted it to excel and do many things. Unfortunately, it came to a stop. And I did want to continue on that brand, and that was something that we were working on together. But I'm so thankful now of In the Middle and other things I've been able to do and other discussions I've been able to lead and be a part of that have been getting a lot of traction and stuff online. So nothing has stopped me. Nothing has, stopped me from growing and getting to where I'm at right now. And I hope that you continue to excel and continue to do great things in the process. I love you, Adrian. I hate that this had to get to this. I also feel bad for the people who were listening and watching us together. Maybe one day in the future we will come back to this, and it'll be a beautiful thing. Until then, I ask you all to wish him well and wish me well and continue to support me. And until next time, I'll talk y'all later on tonight. Bye.
I respect you. I love you. I've said it in every interview, time and time again. And if that's not good enough with you, mama, then it's something deep-rooted in you. You need to get something is bothering you inside. That's your insecurity bothering you.